How do you think AI can transform crypto industry?
I think it can transform it a lot. So I'm also developing an AI agent.
AI is really a huge global trend today. Do you believe that AI tokens will perform better than others?
I found only two types of rational utility.
But what's the reason why I will use crypto AI agents?
Talking about the AI tokens, I think the future is really bright for AI tokens. We need to distinguish two types of AI tokens.
By the way, do you know why Ethereum fall down?
I think that there will be meme coins that will outperform all the traditional crypto assets, definitely.
What the services you use for daily life in analytics? Is it possible that Solana or other blockchain can replace Ethereum?
We want to buy some, get meme coin and get 100x in 2 weeks. All fundamental metrics are boring. Asset without any kind of value cannot, grow 100x.
What's the real value and how we will use in the future?
So we are still in uptrend. Hopefully we will. Price of the exchange, you see the price of the last understand. It's not the price that $1 billion worth of token was exchanged. It's the price of the last deal. And it looks like a 100% discount. Everybody builds something for some purpose. Selling everything on day one, I think it's not a good idea. While you're not on chain, you're not real crypto guys. People want to buy honest assets, not a good.
Do you know how to understand that the token is undervalued or overvalued? What's your top insights for all time being in crypto?
Finally, we will start to have some real world assets finally, because all previous cycles, even specifically in 2017, for example, you trust Trump and you buy Trump token, for example. So, or you admire Trump, you respect Trump, but I don't understand how my Trump respect will get bigger if I own some share of Trump tokens.
Greetings everyone, I'm your host Kirill Ivanov. Today my guest is Vasily Sumanov, Ph.D. researcher and token engineer. We'll discuss everything about AI and how understand of real value of token, so you can make better decision. I really recommend you watch this video to the end.
Yeah, thank you, man. Nice to meet you.
AI is really a huge global trend today. Do you believe that AI tokens will perform better than others? What makes that possible?
I think it's one of the most emerging markets in crypto, to be honest, and everybody saw how it rising up. Everybody saw the virtual, everybody saw A6NZ, Zerebro, some other ones, and huge bullish trend this autumn and maybe even a month ago. The people's assumption regarding this tokens were much better than now, because now at this moment when we are recording this podcast, there's a huge market crash in this sector. Tokens are really going down. Maybe talking about the AI tokens, I think the future is really bright for AI tokens. We need to distinguish two types of AI tokens. One type is something like A6NZ or Virtual, for example, the tokens of ecosystems of agents that capture value from all these agents theoretically, right? So, for example, you have Ethereum, right? And Ethereum captures value from all projects that are built on Ethereum, that the users paying for gas, consuming the block space and stuff. So, and if we're talking about, for example, A6NZ and Elise OS, or we're talking about Virtual, or we're talking about something else, if it is an ecosystem that consists of a lot of agents.
I thought AI16Z is more closer to the meme coins AI.
What AI16Z has, so I even made a proposal for AI16Z new Tokenomics, so it's not public yet, but I definitely will public it in Twitter one day, hopefully soon. So what they have an Elise OS, the open source operation system for agents development, mainly. Okay. The main value of this is integrations with Twitter, some Telegram bots, with on-chain actions and stuff. So if you want to build some AI agent that will, for example, make some transactions or will make some Telegram messages or Twitter posts, the Elise OS is one of the good choices, I can say. There are, of course, different alternatives. Not only one team builds this. Is evident trend that you need to build it. But the thing is that theoretically, AI6NZ token can capture value from all the agents in the ecosystem, theoretically. At this moment, I can say that none of them captures value from all the agents. I mean, it's not something like a critics. I mean, just try and honestly explain how it works. So at this moment, the only function of AI6NZ is that if you have 100K of tokens, you can become a partner and get in some special closed chats, discuss some stuff with core community members, developers, and this is very valuable. But there is no cash flow, no any kind of other mechanisms or rights that you can get. So even the contribution to the AI6NZ DAO as a fee for developers is a voluntarily. Of course, it's good because it's open source, but the question is how token will capture value. Now it's almost a meme coin. It has this access feature, but in general, I mean, you're a holder. let's go to the holder level. You bought these tokens. You're a holder. What you can do? You can get to the chat. Of course, it's valuable, but I think it's
just
not
buy and sell.
I think it's not so valuable to for this asset to have a like multi-billion-dollar valuation, right? So I think that AI tokens, specifically ecosystem tokens that can capture in ecosystem, you can have 100 agents, 500 agents, thousands of agents in the future, maybe millions of agents, nobody knows. And theoretically, all these agents in some way will contribute to the value of the main asset. For example, all the Solana projects in direct or indirect way contribute to value of Solana token, right?
Yeah.
The pump fund that locks, for example, Solana, all the trading that also funds validators with fees.
I understand the value of this project, but if we're talking about some virtual crypto AI agents, what's the real value and how we will use in the future? Because okay, I understand there is ChatGPT or Gemini or like traditional AI tools and AI agents, and we will use in daily life. But what's the reason why I will use crypto AI agents?
For example, if you want your ChatGPT to do a transaction, for example, you just type buy or sell this token, it cannot do it, right? It's off-chain. If it's off-chain, I can say text bot, right? Of course, you can have some, AI agents specifically trained for video creation, for images creation. But if you're talking about some, on-chain analytics, on-chain actions, maybe some, Twitter analytics and other stuff which is specifically related to crypto, it's a little bit side. I think you need to train it additionally. You need to have additional integrations, and I think
okay, I got it.
I think the integration one of the main complexity there, because to make a transaction, you understand how many things you need to do to make a transaction. You need to sign a transaction with your private key. You need to safely store this private key to be sure that it wouldn't be stolen by an agent, developer, or some malicious hackers. You need to be sure that these transfers will go to mempool, that the gas that is specified there is reasonable, that it will pass the block.
Okay.
Or if it is some transaction that is related to some trading, probably you need to use some flash bots or MAV pool to be sure that it will be accepted fast to the block. So signing a transaction on chain is complicated question. It's not so easy like just printing text in ChatGPT.
Yeah, I got it. It's a bit different. And what's the most popular AI agents in crypto now?
There are some of them. We know that Henon, AXBT. We know some agents in Lisa. So I cannot say that I'm a very frequent agent user at this moment. I explored some of them because I tried to understand the tokenomics. I mean, what is the utility of the token there? I found only two types of rational utility there. One is AIXBT, the analytical tool that you need to hold some amount of tokens to get an access to this analytical tool. And at the moment of exploring it, the price of token was so high to own 3K USD equivalent of the tokens to get this access to this tool. And I think that if you're talking about the rational retail user, it's not possible for someone to just buy 3K worth of tokens to analyze some projects. Of course, it can be for a lot of crypto whales or just rich guys. But if you're talking about average user who sometimes struggles to pay $20 subscription to something, maybe it is not so relevant. The other quite rational token design I saw it is in Venus AI, so you can get some.
They were released a few days ago on the market.
Yeah, they released a few days ago. There was some drama with the founders selling on Coinbase, and I think you can read it all in Twitter because I'm not an investor of this project. I'm just observer from the side. But
how many amounts they sold?
As I know, they sold 25% of team tokens. And
it's really
I don't remember
amount.
Did they sell all the 25% or not, but it looks like they did. So I just need to make it like Twitter investigation. I mean, there is everything in Twitter, but I didn't dig into the numbers. So the ticker is 3V, and you can just type 3V drama. I mean, you can ask Grok. Thanks for Twitter. We have a AI in Twitter that can help you to find something, even if you don't want to spend time on it. So, and all of this public, a lot of major influencers discuss this topic and provide some on-chain proofs and calculations who did what. What I saw there, it was so you can stake token, you can get access to some free API calls or credits that you can.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, you can ask this agent to do something for you. So it's basically the computational time, right? And it means that you stake the token and you get some amount of free API calls, and it looks like a 100% discount, right? So in other situation, you will pay with real money for this API calls, but now you can do it for free. So if you frequently using this agent, you can calculate how much is the market value of this AI.
Is there only one real utility? It's like you can get discount for using this service.
You can get a share of free amount of requests. So for example, if there is 100 tokens staked and you stake it 1 token, you will get 1% of all amount of free requests in the system. So if the system grows and grows and grows and there are more and more allocation of these free requests, you can get more of them. Maybe you even can resell them, or you can use it for your productive work that will generate you cash flow. But what you definitely can do, you can say, okay, you can make, for example, 10K calls per day. And what is the market price of these calls in the open market? For example, if there will be some similar agent and you need to pay with your bank card. For example, it is like, I don't know the numbers, like $50. So it means that your cash flow for owning a token, if you stake it and actively use it, is $50 per day. So it's not bad. So you can, after that, you can make some kind of valuation at least. So it's at least much more rational. So if you have a token, you can get something. You can get some
it's definitely better.
So you can get some real value. Also getting some cash flows from emission, but it's like a separate topic.
If there a real utility, it will impact on price in long term for project?
I think yes. So last month it was, of course, looking like just launching meme token with a fancy name, with a good market maker and marketing team, and it goes up. A little bit dust settled, and we see now meme coins are in very, very big downtrends, losses. The majority of meme coins are in, at least on the chart, in technical picture is in the bearish market. So crypto is not in the bearish market in general. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, I mean, top tier projects, and even, second tier, third tier projects are not totally in the bearish market, according to technical picture on the chart.
Uptrend, okay.
Yes, so we are still in uptrend. Hopefully we will be there after this podcast also. But these meme coins, they're in huge downtrends. Some of them lost maybe 95% of their value, 90%. The Murat portfolio is down. I saw in Twitter today. The problem is that you don't need this token. What you can do with it. So people say the mimetic value is also value. I can agree that mimetic value of Bitcoin, if Satoshi sends the Bitcoin from his old address to you,
mimetic value, what is it?
Mimetic value is the the kind of hedonic value or community context around something. So for example, you trust in Trump and you buy Trump token, for example. So or you admire Trump, you respect Trump, but I don't understand how my Trump respect will getting bigger if I own some share of Trump tokens. My only desire as a crypto guy to own Trump tokens could be I hope it will grow, right? Maybe for some reason. And I think the 99% of meme coin traders, they're not buying, oh, it's fancy meme, I'm buying this squirrel or something, or goat or anything else. I think 99.9% of people, they're thinking about the profit. So bigger full theory you buy, and you hope that somebody will buy higher. So, but in case if you have some real value there, if you have some real utility, and when I talk about the real utility, I'm talking about you can get cash flows, you can get discounts, you can get at least some governance rights that are really valuable, like in some past DeFi cases. Often you need to lock a token, and you remove it temporarily from circulation to get all these rights activated. For example, like in Curve case or Convex case. I mean, I'm talking about good old DeFi days. If you have something for which purpose this token is really used, you can use it, you can lock it, you can have any other rational reason to own it besides just sell.
By the way, I watched a presentation of Murat about meme coins, and his position will that meme coins will perform better in this bull cycle. And what is your position about? Do you believe more in utility projects?
I cannot say that I'm against Murat or some such kind of things, because we all saw how meme coins rise. We know that some people became really rich and make some even generational wealth on meme coins. And hopefully not all of these people will be very meme coin creators, or maybe some ordinary traders also got a slice of this pie, hopefully. I think that there will be meme coins that will outperform all the traditional crypto assets, definitely. But the question is which one will outperform. Because if you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, even if you buy some technological coins,
it's more sustainable in the future, in long term.
It has some at least some fundamentals for growth. I'm not against meme coins. I'm happy for everyone who made money on meme coins, and I'm not happy for everyone who lost money on meme coins. Hopefully you wouldn't lose less. So there will be assets that will outperform all blue chips, that will outperform all emerging altcoins, all fancy, all this bearer chain, mega ETH, all top tier technological projects that we know. There will be such meme coins, no doubt.
By the way, do you know why Ethereum fall down?
It's also widely discussed in Twitter. The Ethereum at this moment I'm a big Ethereum fan. I hold Ethereum for a long time. I build stuff on Ethereum. I trust in Ethereum all the time. I still trust in Vitalik and in the project itself. Of course, it's one of the most innovative and biggest ecosystem, I think. But the problem is that, first of all, all the speculative activities were on Solana, all the meme coin trading, AI agents and stuff. On Ethereum, we had the speculative activities and AI agents only on Base, mainly the Base, the Coinbase native rollup. And the thing is that all these rollups, they don't really contribute to the Ethereum value. So they fragment liquidity, they take users from main chain, because on main chain it's gas is quite expensive, and on Rollup now we have a lot of liquidity, so it means that gas costs are low, but the user experience for average capital, even big capitals, is quite similar in terms of DEX liquidity, lending markets liquidity. So all the activities on Solana lock a lot of Solana and PAM fund, you know this, right? Generate a huge amount of trading fees and MIV, so all the Solana validators became much more richer. So now you can earn maybe like 10-12% in Solana native yield in JIT or Solera.
Oh, really?
In Ethereum, you can get 2.9. It's also good taking into account that Ethereum is tends to be a deflationary asset, and Solana is not deflationary. There is a lot of unlocks coming in March, if I'm not wrong. But so Solana got a lot of attention, a lot of speculative activity, and even President of the United States released his meme coin and his wife meme coin on Solana. So it is also some kind of.
Is it possible that Solana or other blockchain can replace Ethereum?
I think no, to be honest. Maybe it will occur in short term, but if you will see the Ethereum level of securities is big, the amount of validators, there was no events in Ethereum when it was stopped producing the blocks, or there was some downtime of the network. It's really very stable. On Ethereum, we have $140 billion of major stable coins like USDT and USDC and similar ones issued at this moment. So
it's a huge amount, huge numbers.
So if you will see, it's much more bigger than on Tron. It's much more bigger than on Solana. It's much more bigger than on any other ecosystem. So big whales, big traders, maybe big institutions, they trust Ethereum for storing their. If you hold, for example, $100 billion of stable coins on some chain, the cost of consensus would actually be much bigger, right? To be sure that nobody will make a double spending or change anything there. So, for example, when we see Tron, we need to check the numbers, but I think it's around maybe $18 billion market cap,
okay.
And we have maybe more than $50 billion of stable coins there. Sorry. So it means that at this moment, the amount of stable coins on Tron is much bigger than the amount that the cost of attack. Of course, it's maybe centralized chain, always under control, but it looks suspicious, right? Would you put a lot of your capital to the chain? That cost of attack to this chain is much lower than the amount of the price for hackers that will steal from the chain. Of course, USDT can pause the contracts and do a lot of emergency measures, but Ethereum, in terms of the stable coins and liquidity on DEXs, I think it's superior at this moment, and it's very stable. So sometimes you have some innovations, but sometimes you have something that really works.
It's good source. So when we spoke last time, you mentioned you in crypto from 2013, right?
Yeah, I started mining in 2013.
It seems like you're really pro in crypto, and you also do big work and in terms of research of tokens. And can you share some details how you do analytics and research of tokens, on what you looking for?
When I see the token, I see two parts of the token design. First is the supply side. It's all the incentives, airdrops, team advisor, investors allocation. So it's how the token is going to the market, how it's distributed to the holders. And second part, for me, much more interesting part, is the demand side, or utility the token provides to its owner, the value that the token captures based on these utility functions. For example, if you're getting cash flow, owning a token, it's definitely a value stream, right? So you capture some value from the ecosystem, getting this cash flow. If you have some governance right, you can influence something in the ecosystem. Probably you can have bribes or some monetary income from that. The token distribution is very important, and if you see some unbalanced token distributions, of course you think about it. For example, you see a lot of early unlocks. For example, in Vini's token, we see the early team unlock from day one. Very, very interesting how it can happen. But according to Twitter, it's all legit and was stated.
It's a bad signal to investments, right? If I see a team have a big supply and will unlock in the first day.
Yeah, of course, if team can sell at day one and it sells, like in Vini's, it's not good sign. So they don't trust in the project. So team can sell, of course. Everybody builds something for some purpose, and you need to have a chance to make some income from that. But selling everything on day one, I think it's not a good idea. I try to decompose utility to what I call origins of value. So the
Okay.
elementary economic patterns that I call this the system policy applied to a token. So what does it
Okay.
mean? It means some elementary function of the token in simple terms. For example, you can vote, it's a governance. You can get some cash flow, it's future cash flow. You can just use token for transferring value in the ecosystem, it's value transfer.
How I can use this information?
First of all, it's interesting. Is it possible to stake token and get some share of value that is generated, some protocol fees, for example? So a lot of people, they owning assets, but they don't want to do this, or they just don't think about that they can get some staking yield on top of that, for example. Very simple. So a lot of people own Ethereum and don't stake Ethereum. A lot of people own Solana on exchange like Binance or Bybit or any other centralized exchange.
On Solana, is it possible to make for 14% yield?
12%.
12.
Of course, it depends on MIV. So it's not only block rewards and fees, it's also MIV income, maximal extracted value, based on the validator's work, some
and how I can do that?
You can deposit it in Solana or Jita. I deposited in Solana, not endorsement, just I decided to deposit there for some reason, because the yield is higher, 2% at least.
Is it some special staking services?
Yes. You withdraw your SOL to your own wallet. Of course, you need to create it safely. Not a lot of inexperienced users, they hold crypto on exchange because they don't want to do all these procedures with wallets. But while you're not on chain, you're not real crypto guy. You're not a real crypto person. While you are not withdraw your crypto to your wallet and do some trading, do some staking, do some activities on chain. Before that, you are just Web2 normie that tries to.
I think that a lot of people think that it's a bit tricky to go on chain.
A lot of non-custodial wallets are available, so you can. You also have some hardware wallets.
I mean, it's really easy to be hacked.
So what I try to do, I try never claim anything suspicious. If it is not like official, like legit airdrop from a very big project, I mean, for example.
Especially for you, what's the red flags on the project? If you see that these red flags, you won't be invest.
I think it's very important to understand what they're doing and who is behind. I mean, who also supports, because teams, of course, they build themselves, but sometimes there are some VCs, some big angels, some solid guys that have some reputation, right? If you see that there are huge amount of subscribers, but you put this Twitter to the Twitter Score. Twitter Score is free tool that you can analyze Twitters of anyone. It's very easy. It's free, so you don't need to pay. Just copy and paste. And if it is some good project and don't have any serious accounts following it, like Twitter Score 1 or 2, it's too small. I just try to understand, is this project known in some crypto circles, I mean, some friends, or just Twitter, so I just see who reposted, who writes something. I think that opinion of the crowd is really important. Also, you need to see what it is about. So is it, fork of something, or, it's something brand new? In terms of, for example, of new meme coins or AI agents, it's almost impossible to do a proper research. So you need to understand, is this, developed by some legit guys or not? So you need to be in the community. For example, if you want to buy some tokens that are in A6 and Z ecosystem, the best way to do it is to be in the Discord, to be in all the chats, be there, discuss with people, see what people think. For example, you see some new project, you share the link there and see some opinions. So it's always a discussion. It's quite complicated to make a decision yourself without any other references.
I fully agree with you that it's all about communication with other people, but I'm not sure communication in Discord with big community, it's a good way to find a good opportunity and good ways, options to invest in some crypto.
We are talking now about very specific investments. So you, for example, want to follow some very early agents deployments. So it's not about investing in Chainlink or Ethereum or some big asset that is well known, right? If you're talking about the meme coins and some early agent deployments, the cost. So this information access is a function of the price. So you bought, you sold, somebody else bought, somebody else sold, and this is changing hands. Right. And the later people bought it on the later time, but it of course it looks some financial pyramid sometimes.
So we started our conversation from AI, and I want to ask you about from other hand, how do you think AI can transform crypto industry?
First of all, I think that AI agents can solve all this, complicated research problem. So if you have some available docs, you can summarize everything. you can get rid of hours of research in like in 5 minutes. I think this is one of the main value propositions. So there is some new asset, you can find everything about this new asset, all mentions, tweets and stuff, so you don't need to do it manually. Also, I think so the research is one piece. The second piece, I think, it's some kind of on-chain actions. So I just imagine that if the agent can say, okay, this is on, for example, this meme coin or some asset is on Base, your funds are on Ethereum, so we will bridge it from Ethereum to Base using this kind of bridge, like some bridge and store it there. So and you just make it all automatically, and you don't need to understand how all of this works. The system does it for you, and with the agent, it's much more simplified. I think
it's way to mass adoption. I think.
Yeah, I think that you can abstract under the hood a lot of things.
And how you use AI in your service?
I'm building an analytical platform, valuation.ai. So we're focusing on utility-centric token metrics, so on providing all the information about token design. For example, if you want to use Vinisai, you will know how exactly you can use the token, what yields you can get, how to do it, right? We understand that the amount of assets is growing exponentially. There are a lot of assets. It's not possible to list manually every token, right? And make all the descriptions, how it works, what to do with this asset, what are the metrics. I want to have some kind of, chat bot or something where you can type all the information that you know about the token. For example, the website, the Twitter, something at least, maybe the contract address, and it will search all of this for you and make, the report and the comprehensive picture. So this token has this and this utility. You can buy it, sell it. Here you can stake it. Here you can get some kind of yield. You can, for example, use it for this and this purpose. So you can get a full outline of what you can do with the token, what is under the hood, maybe even some valuation or something. So
we'll go a bit deep. How it technically works. For example, if you want to use AI to incorporate in your tool.
Yeah. So first of all, I have a framework for token analysis. And I deployed all of it there. Also, we are doing some cases manually to have it on our website, of course, on our token tracker website, and also educate AI agent at the same time. So we decided to get just an API to several services like CryptoRank, like CoinGecko, Misari, something like this, to get basic information about the assets. For example, if asset is not brand new, it's some token that is already traded maybe for a while, we can get 4 or 5 APIs and collect all this information and analyze it. And based on this information, we can make much more easier processing, because if you just go to Twitter and you have a lot of buzz tweets about this token, like it is blue chip, you need to buy. I mean, some information that is not really relevant to the So we decided to make an algorithm and several APIs that you have already. I can say like trusted data. It's data not about the token design, not about the utility mainly. It's mainly data about the general description of the projects and some links to the resources like docs and Gitbooks and GitHub.
Major experience in token engineering. What is it exactly, and why it is important?
I built some token designs for projects. I built it a lot. I created the like value capturing classification theory, how to analyze token value, and built I think a quite good system from that. Got a T Academy award, like a main award for token engineers. Like the academic paper is already approved. I'm waiting for for official publishing. So I made some lectures, research groups. I did a lot of stuff, but one of the most interesting like public contributions is the Valueverse that I try to provide some kind of standard for analysis of utility and provide this analytics and all the data for free for retail users. So we don't plan to do any paywalls. So.
And why you decided to do this business?
Because it's scalable, so you can list a lot of tokens, you can do a lot of collaborations with projects, a lot of partnerships. Also, nobody did it before, so I think, in this type of product. So the main token trackers, they track prices, liquidity, and general information. They don't track the token utility and utility metrics. What I think we need to have in a live token report with all the metrics available online, updated online, because you are not interested to know the price of some token like yesterday price, right? You need to know price right now, today.
Yep.
And you don't need, and in case of any kind of productive asset, you also want to understand all the metrics. I mean, the staking yield, the inflation, maybe some protocol fees, a lot of other metrics.
Okay.
Now you don't want to know metrics of like 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. What are the services you use for on daily life in analytics?
In crypto, I use Genius Analytics mainly. I use CoinGecko, Misari. I mean, it's just general purpose.
It's basics, yeah.
It's just general purpose. I mean, but for me, it's more like the catalogs of tokens, like in early internet catalogs of websites. What I find on CoinGecko is maybe 5% of information about the token. For example, if you buy an asset and this asset is like 75% of it is staked and is quite substantial yield that comes from healthy sources, not just general inflation. So you see that this is quite healthy asset with strong value proposition. In Ethereum, you can see a lot of fundamental value. Of course, sometimes it's boring, right? We want to buy some cat meme coin and get 100x in 2 weeks or maybe 2 months. All fundamental metrics are boring, and I understand. I'm also like when it's all it's you're living in the flow, you're doing something, it's very good. But talking about the economics, asset without any kind of value cannot grow like 100x and be stable. It can grow, but it will go back. So even Dogecoin, it has a lot of real transfers of Dogecoin used for transfer between exchanges. It is used not only for meme coin feature, it's also an asset that used for value transfer at this moment. You need to understand that. I think because if you will go back to maybe 2015, 2014, 2016, to that days, at that time, the Bitcoin block time was like 10 minutes, right? And I know that, some people really use Dogecoin for transferring funds between exchanges. Yeah, I also used a little bit.
Can you explain some technical aspect? Do you know how price creating on token when token release on market?
The price is so when you see the price on the exchange, you see the price of the last deal, right? You understand? It's not the price that $1 billion worth of token was exchanged. It's the price of the last deal. So you see that Ethereum was 2,700. It's just the price of last deal on this particular exchange and nothing more. Token goes to the market. Some people try to buy it. Some people try to sell it. Price finally is, of course, some equilibrium between supply and demand, basically. But also understand all the time that where the supply comes from and where the demand comes from. So the supply can be a lot of early unlocks. It can be just an artificial supply from the futures market. A lot of meme coins were launched on Binance and dumped a lot because they were launched spot and futures at the same time, and a lot of people shorted on the futures. So you can read this in Twitter as well. This was the Murad point, what he said. If you will take his video and short it to maybe one phrase, it's people don't want to buy inflated valuations from VCs. Banks, people want to buy honest assets from low valuation, right? This was the main idea. When a big technological token releases on the on Binance, on big exchange, it's released from very high valuation.
Do you know how to understand that the token is undervalued or overvalued?
It depends on the token, but in any kind of token, we have like fundamental value, narrative value, and we also have a technical, chart, right? And sometimes on technical chart, we see that it's just oversold. Just on the technical, it will be some bounce back. But if you're talking about a long term, we need to see, for example, what amount of cash flows is coming for a token holder. We need to see what amount of tokens, for example, is locked. Valuation of crypto assets is a very tricky question, very tricky. Because if you have an asset with cash flow, it's easy to make valuation. You can use discount cash flows, standard models for startups, for big companies. But if token doesn't have a cash flow, it's very complicated to value the token. But it's a very tricky question to make a fundamental valuation. So for the cash flow based assets, it's easy. If you have a governance, you have a bribes, you can also make this a cash flow, right? Like make a reference that the bribes income is a monetary representation of governance and also kind of a cash flow. If you have a discount token, the amount of what you saved is your future cash flow. We can also make such kind of reference. At least I'm doing. For example, in Binance, when you own BNB and you pay some trading fees with discount, it's also kind of future cash flow. In Venus token, amount of free API credits is also a future cash flow because it's some amount of real value that you need to pay for in other case if you don't own the token.
Where do you see big potential in the next few years, except of AI?
Probably we will start to have some real world assets finally, because all previous cycles. But what is really interesting, I think, if we will have some tokenized stocks trading, so we can move a lot of traditional trading volumes on chain. And this can be very interesting.
Do you want to say like traditional stocks will be tokenized and we can buy less part?
First of all, it's already done. It's not officially tokenized. It's tokenized like a derivatives, right? So like synthetics protocol or there's some other protocols that you can make a synthetic version of asset that tracks a share of Apple, for example.
And for what it?
But it's not
just easier access to buy.
If you will think about for example, go out and see what we have now. Now we have USDT, huge market cap. USDT made 13 billions per year. You know where this yield comes from? This yield comes from the treasury interest rate. So what Tether does, they took money, put it in the treasury bills, make risk-free APR there, but don't pay. They don't pay anything to USDT holders, right? USDT holders have it's USDT looks like a tokenized treasury bill, but without yield. That yield is taken by the Tether. So this is why they're most profitable company in the world for per one employee, right? Because they just took a huge amount of real cash, put it in the real asset that generates real cash flow from the United States government, and using this for their own needs. And this is their business model. Everyone who uses Tether just say okay with that. This is not bad, right? The Tether works, no FUD on Tether. But we can see that USDT looks like a tokenized treasury bill, right? Without yield. Looks like. It's like we can logically say that. It's not like I don't make any claims or something, just legally say. It's just thinking economically, right?
Okay.
So not tokenized because this USDT doesn't provide you any kind of rights of treasury bill rights. No yield, nothing else, right?
Okay,
you can
right.
buy or sell treasury bills, but it's backed by treasury bills. So they did one of the most profitable business in the world based on that legal business. It's not, something bad, right? A lot of people in third world countries use USDT and hedging against, their own currency devaluation. So USDT is a first tokenized real world asset on a huge adoption. It's the fact.
It's really cool.
It's real fact. And USDC as well. Stablecoins now, the major stablecoins of grade like USDT or USDC, it's one of the biggest RWA products so far, which is really adopted, really used, has a lot of value. And if you will see, for example, Tron blockchain, the majority of transactions on Tron just USDT transfers.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no real ecosystem there. Yeah.
What else except of RWA?
I think that we also will see some rise of social networks because the people, that the
Social
like
networks.
the data is new fuel, new oil, right? And also the people's coordination is, you see the Facebook grow from the people's coordination is, crazy valuation. It's really one of the biggest company in the world. You can saw that, for example, founder of Aave started to build Lens protocol in 2021. So he sees what to do. The Farcaster is some other projects. So there are a lot of projects, not a lot, maybe like 3, 4, 5 of them that has some adoption and has some, real delivered tech and product and it really works. That establish some, people's coordination, but with on-chain, all this PRX value transfers, all, because Facebook is Web 2 coordination and Lens and Farcaster is Web 3 coordination. You own your own profile, you own your name. All these cases when Facebook took names from people, they took the account, official address, like a handle from the account. Because it's a centralized company, right? They took any handle of any person. What happened? Only the naming changed.
Yeah.
At this moment, I don't see any real influence on me as a Facebook user with this meta, besides that it's called meta now. Even nothing else. So I think the social networks will have, and I think the airdrop for Lens protocol and for some, such kind of service will be huge, and valuation will be huge. And because, people's interaction of all these big communities is really valuable. Some data services, because if you see that AI will be a big trend, that the data that AI is used for learning will be also the big trend. So, for example, there is a Vana protocol that tries to tokenize all this data ownership. So, for example, you have your data, you can encrypt it, and some people can train AI using this data, but this data is not revealed because one is going to the open internet. Everybody will use it for free, and the uniqueness of this data is finished, right? You cannot sell your data 2 times.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you can rent it out if you have proper encryption, proper technology to make sure that the agent will learn on top of this data, but will never steal this data. So I think such kind of things that are supplementary to the agents and to the old, because the data market is really big, and I think it will be even bigger. So,
what's your top insights for all time being in crypto?
I think that first of all, you need to have some reserves in stable coins. Definitely all the time, even if market is booming, you need to have some share of portfolio in stable coins to not get wrecked. When now a lot of people get wrecked, right? Because everybody expects it will grow up, but it's not growing.
So every time.
Second, I strongly believe that person need to change. If you want to be an investor, you need to pick some, several assets for hodl, or for the cycle that you want to capitalize on. And of course, you can change this if you don't trust anymore as some kind of asset. But for example, previous cycle, the Ethereum was an evident choice that provided good gains and you can grow your wealth. And this cycle, maybe it will be Solana, maybe something else. So there are a lot of projects that are coming. So, but you need to select something. And for example, you made some money on meme coins. You need to, for example, you made 10K on meme coins, right? What I think you need to take 8K, the significant share of this, if you don't want to put it outside of crypto and just go in some trip with your girlfriend or or a friend just to spend it and not lose it forever. One of the good strategies is to capitalize your main asset. For example, you trust in Ethereum, you made some profits, you bought Ethereum on some maybe local bottom, or you're just DCAing and you add it to your to your stake. So, and because if the meme coin grew a lot, of course you can have some moon bag, right? You can sell 90% and keep 10%. Okay, if maybe it will make 100x more, okay, I will not miss this party at least, right? But the capitalizing into some reliable assets, you will see now meme coins made minus 90%. Solana didn't make this. Ethereum, of course, dropped a lot, but it didn't make minus 90%. It will never do because it has a lot of fundamental value. It has a lot of stuff why it should, why the price should be bigger than maybe 2K. Capitalizing into blue chips that you trust, that also ideally like Solana provides some yields.
A lot of insights.
But it's an easy. Also, you need to have some stable coins all the time. Also, and now you can make 12, maybe 14% yield. I can say almost risk-free if considering some lending markets like Xerox Fluid, maybe Compound as a matured good projects that were never hacked. So you can put this stable cost for 12% annual. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you have liquid asset, you can use it anytime. Now Ethereum goes to 2K, you can buy Ethereum for 2K or Solana for $150 or anything. So if you provides you yield all the time, so if you need some funds for travel, for some emergency, you can not sell your portfolio on low prices. You can just pick up from this. So I think maybe 20% or 30% in stable coins is really important. Of course, it looks like it's a huge amount. You cannot get more profits, but market never grows all the time. There are always some corrections, and when you most need money for your family, for your life, for some something, the market goes down and you need to sell on low prices. And after that, you say, "Oh, I sold my Ethereum on low price because I really need a lot of money for buying a new house or some other events."
Okay, thanks for conversation. It was
thank you.
Pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you.